Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and we're working with Nico. Say howdy, Nico.
Hello, Coach
I
Lee.
think
Hello,
it's
everyone.
buongiorno, buonasera, buonanotte if he's going to bed.
Buonasera.
And he lives in Milano, and he came. We first started chatting as long ago as late 2019, very late 2019,
Yeah.
and we've been friends a long time. And he keeps working on his speech. He comes to SAM meetings on occasion, and he's doing great. He speaks great there, and we love to have him. He had a number of other therapies that didn't get the job done for him, and so let's see. When he originally started out, he started stuttering at age 13, and then it stopped for a while and started again at 19. It affected about a third of his speech. Now, since then, he stopped appearing speech disabled, which is our first base, and then our second base is not planning words when you speak. Now, I hear him speak at Sam, and I do not hear him planning words. I don't know. Do you think you've gotten over planning words in general before you say them?
Most of the time, not. But if I am a little bit under pressure, maybe I do some planning. But if I use crutches, especially number 8 and 9, it gets things much easier because I don't concentrate on the words, but on the way I have to say them. So
Correct in assuming that you cannot remember your last bad incident, being speech
uh,
disabled.
no, I can't remember because I have a lot of speech anxiety, especially when I have to do public speaking. But in my job, I have to do public speaking, let's say once every 2 weeks. So I have to do like presentation in front of public, and but I have a lot of speech anxiety before, but then they go quite well. I never have like bad incidents, but still I have let's say a big amount of fear.
Okay. Now, you've heard me say at Sam probably what my father said about this, who was a very good speaker. He was an attorney, and he spoke to groups constantly. And I asked him one time. I said, "Dad, do you ever get nervous before you give a talk in front of a group?" And he said, "Lee, if you don't get nervous before you go on, you won't be any good." So 90+% of the people on this planet feel the way you do about public speaking. The wonderful thing for you is you used to stutter, but you don't anymore. You know how to avoid that. So there is no purpose in having fear. You say, "Well, I know, but I have it anyway." Well, the way you get rid of it is it's like if you want to swim better, you got to get in the pool and swim. It's the same thing here. If you want to, I don't feel nervous. If my father were alive today, he's been dead since I was 28, but if my father were alive today, I could happily tell him, "Well, Dad, uh, I have proven, at least to myself, that I don't really get nervous before I go on, and I am still I am as good as I can be when I go on." And I've done that by constantly telling myself, "I love to speak under pressure. I can't wait to speak to this group. I can't wait to do my wedding vows." You wrote me that you were concerned about your wedding vows, I believe, and I want to tell you, I've been married 50 years. I was concerned about my wedding vows too, but if I were getting married tomorrow, it wouldn't concern me in the slightest. But so the point is, you have reached first base. You don't have bad incident, and you really reached second base. You don't generally plan your words. Planning words leads to forcing words, leads to stuttering. You cannot plan, and you cannot force, or you will stutter. So those two things you cannot do. So you say, well, I know, but I'm nervous about it, and blah, blah, blah. Well, then you need to practice more. You need to talk more under pressure to groups. SAM is a group. Toastmasters is a group. A crowd of people at a wedding is a group. You may need to make a toast, for heaven's sakes, in front of everybody that you want to do. And you want to have fun doing it. You want to love doing it. And you can. Now, okay, so second base is, I'm going to say you're there as well. You don't generally plan your words. But third base, you're not there. Third base is loving to speak. And you're still working everywhere. Yeah. So working on loving to speak and has wedding vows coming up. Okay. I have specific things to say about wedding vows as well, but when you come to SAM, the more you can talk, the better for you. And you can't dominate the conversation, but chip in as much as you can. Have fun doing it. These are all your friends, and they're all on your team, and you're on theirs. So it's a great place to do it. I've recommended to you that you do, I'm sure I have, that you do Toastmasters or something like that, whatever's available in Milan. Have you ever done anything like that?
I did like Toastmaster once, but a few years ago. But then COVID started, and just they moved to the online meetings, and I didn't like it very much. It was like back in 2020, but then after that, I didn't join Toastmaster anymore.
Look, look, here's the question. Do you really care whether or not you love to speak or not? It's fun to speak. I think you should care, and I think you should do it. But I can't put the will into you. If you want to do it, you need to be an active member of Toastmasters. They're not orators. They're people like you who are trying to get better at speaking. I was in Toastmasters for a while, and every time I gave a talk, I got the highest grade every single time I ever spoke there. And I talked about stuttering too. I didn't hide that. And people were amazed. They couldn't believe that I had ever stuttered. I said, oh, yes, I did. So I think, the more you can do Toastmasters, the better. The more you can, if you're at a group meeting in your community or in business, you said just before we started this Skype that you have to do some form of public speaking in your job on a regular basis. Is that true?
Yes.
Tell us about that. What is it you have to do?
I know. I work for the City Hall of Milano in the like public services, like social policies and public services. So like once every 2 weeks or maybe every 3 weeks, I have to do like a PowerPoint presentation.
That's
about
great.
Like about reports, like data, numbers.
That's fun. Now, is that usually a prepared talk? Is it with slides, or what is it?
Yeah, most of the time it's like prepared, like with slides. So I prepare before. So I prepare my speech before. So of course I will use my.
You practice it, Paul? You practice?
Yeah, I practice it. Yes, I practice many times.
Do you follow the rules of Crunch 11?
Yes, and also I have my speech plan, which every time.
When you do public speaking, Tell me what, you say you follow crutch 11. Tell me what crutch 11 is.
So I make a lot of stops.
Ah, good.
I speak very slowly.
Perfect.
I try to slow down, and
Great.
I try to speak in very short increments.
Great. And the only thing you left out is pronunciation. Pronunciation. Look, do you know, you probably don't, that when you use full stops, 1001 is a full stop, or more, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, it actually lowers your blood pressure. Did you know that?
Yes.
Stops will lower your blood pressure. So you talk about when you use stops, you are letting the steam out of the kettle. That's what you're doing, and that's a wonderful thing. So it's no surprise to me that you're successful at doing it, but I still think that you should make a game of it, and it should be fun for you to do it. Not it shouldn't be. You shouldn't feel upset. Look, you've got a good speaking voice. You know your subject. You're not going to wipe out. You're going to be good. The only question is how good. Are you going to be good, very good, super good, unbelievably good, or what? But you're going to be good. And so every time you do it, you'll be a little better than the time before if you prepare your remarks. Now, do you generally speak from bullet points, or do you write out what you're going to say and read it, or memorize it?
I just memorize because I have usually a set of slides. So I just memorize them. So I know the speech by heart most of the time.
Okay.
But I try not to memorize all the single words, but the general meaning, the general idea. So I don't want to focus too much on single words.
Well, I never focus on words, and you shouldn't either. You should focus on the meaning of the words. There's a big difference. Now, I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to pull up something. When I was doing my wedding vows,
Yeah.
I was probably at a higher risk for stuttering than you are now. I had a greater risk. And what I did that worked great, talk and almost a whisper. I, beloved, to take thee and to pay bars, to be my lawful wife, etc. You say, well, how can anybody hear you? I don't know that they could. And I don't care. The minister heard me. My wife heard me. That's all that matters. And I looked happy. So if you go super soft, that by itself will let a lot of steam out of the kettle as well, because your mind tells you, nobody can hear me, so I can't screw up. If I make a mistake, it won't be a problem, so it's okay. So, that's what your subconscious mind is doing. When you use stops, all the pressure goes away. The longer you stop, I, Nico, blah, 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 do take me so-and-so. Stop them. I, Nico, stop. 1001, Nico, 1001, do take thee, 1001, so-and-so, 1001, to be my lawful wedded wife, 1001, 1002, 1003. I take this ring, blah, blah, blah. You know, and if you know where you're going to put in your stops, you know what you're going to say, and practice that and put your stops in. I use hash marks between words. It helps me remember where I want to.
You basically suggest to learn my wedding vows by heart. Yes. I should learn them by heart, right?
Yeah. Now I'm not. You may not need to go soft at all. I'm just telling you what I did, and that's why, you know, you said, you know, stops and slowly and short increments, all that applies. And that's your speech plan. Soft is another word that takes heat out. Ironically, so does being loud. I Nico, ba 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 ba. 1001, 1002. Do take deep, 1001. It works. The extremes work, but I don't like going loud. I never did, you know, but it works. The ring announcer at the boxing match, in the corner, in the pink shorts, weighing 195 pounds, and blah, 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 you know. I mean, that's another kind of, you know, speech. But you've got a good speaking voice, and I mean, it sounds good. It really does. It's much better than most people's. So, in a way, it's a shame not to be in your regular voice range because it's soothing. You know, it's nice. And of course, Italian is the most beautiful language in the world, and always has been, always will be. And you get to speak that and hear it. It's like music. All those round vowels they have. Molto bene.
And also a lot of gestures, body gestures. You know.
Exactly. Talk with your hands and your feet.
Yeah.
But that's okay too. But and as a matter of fact, that helps with distracting yourself from having a problem. But any event, so your basic speech plan is fine, and then I would say, you know, I just tell you that if you go soft, it's a further insurance policy. You don't need it. I don't think you need any of this stuff, frankly. But you want to speak well. And to speak well, the very things that enable you to avoid stuttering make you speak well. That's what's nice. Speaking slowly. Let people understand what you have to say. And speak in short increments of words and use extreme pronunciation. So all of that, it's a piece of cake, really, and you should view it as one. It really is. The talks you do for your business are more challenging than wedding vows. And look, the wedding vows is a very happy occasion. You wouldn't be there if you weren't delighted to be there. And all your friends are there, and they're there to celebrate this with you and your bride, and it's a wonderful time in your life. And you're celebrating it with your speech. But you think about, you know, we say this a lot at SAM. I urge people to think, how can I say it like I mean it? That's the key. That's all you have to do ever. You are so far down the road of the fluency road. That's all I ever have to think. I don't need to think any other crutch, any of that stuff I wrote in that 700-page book. I don't have to think any of it, except how can I say it like I mean? Because I've covered all those bridges. I know how to say. I know how to avoid a problem saying Lee, or Nico or Milano. I don't have a problem with that. So, and I never will again. If I can make a sound, I can say anything. If I can insert another word, I always can. I can say anything. So stuttering is not the problem. The problem is being a convincing speaker. That's another story. And that takes practice. And that's crutch 11. But this isn't a time to be fearful. This is the time that you're going to shine. I'm going to be at my best. I love this. With my family, my friends, I got this wonderful girl here. Are you kidding me? This is my day, man. Oh.
So it should be also like fun, right? Should be like
fun. Exactly. And you're never going to wipe out again, Nico, because if you get right up to the stutterer's cliff and you're one step from going into the free fall, you shut your mouth, you take a 2 count, 1001, 1002, you start again using your speech, your pressure speech plan. And take it easy. The more pressure, the less words you say in every increment of speech. But you can talk all day long, saying only a few words at any time. It's fun. But to me, for you, all you need to think is, how can I say it like I mean it? That's what I would think if I were you. You want to try that with me? I'll ask you some questions. And you respond in short increments, slowly, with stops, but you're saying it like you mean it. So tell me, how did you find this wonderful girl that you're marrying?
So we met 15 years ago.
Whoa!
Yeah, a long time ago. Basically, we grow up together because when we met, I was only 25 years old. Now I just turned 40.
Okay, that's great. So, do you have a big family, brothers, sisters, and all that stuff?
Yes, my family is composed of 5 people because I have 1 brother and 1 sister. And also my parents divorced a long time ago, and now they have both of them, they have both their own families. So at the wedding, we are gonna have like so many families.
That's great. That's wonderful. That's fabulous. And how about your wife? Does she have a big family?
Yes, a lot, only no sisters or brothers, but a lot of aunts and uncles, so a lot of cousins. So a lot of like relatives will be at the weddings.
Wonderful. Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. So, wow. Oh boy. My wife, when we first got married, she wanted to have a fabric store, and she can sew wonderfully, and she understands fabrics and how they fold and all that stuff. And so she had a fabric store, and she wanted to get really quality couture fabrics. And of course, the best fabrics in the world come from Italy. So she said, "Oh, I would give anything if I could go to Italy to the fabric shows that they have." in Como. I said,
Como.
oh. I said, really? And she said, what? That would be so wonderful. I said, well, let's go. She said, do you mean it? And I said, yes. So we went to the fabric. We went to the Villa d'Este at Lago di Como, and we had a wonderful room. But my first time there, I didn't understand. It was change. The language was very foreign, and very few people. The Italians didn't speak so much English then. It's a long time ago, 50 years, and so I felt very much isolated, and I wanted to. After a couple of days there, I wanted to go home, and Lynn said, "No, we're here. We got to stay." So we stayed, and she was great. My wife was. She's still pretty, but she was killer, gorgeous. When we pulled into Como, into Chernobyl, is it Chernobyl?
Yeah, Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. We pulled in there and we got out with our suitcase and everything, and there were no porters, none, zero. So and with no cabs, and we were going to the Villa d'Este. We had no idea where it was from the train station that we had taken from Milano. So we started walking down the hill with our luggage, and we walked and walked and walked. We finally got into a little enclave of stores. Well, a couple of these Italian guys spotted her, and they were really nice. They were involved in the fabric business. They went upstairs and they got half a dozen of their staff. They came down, they carried our luggage, they got us transportation, they carried us out, and they were doing a show, not at the Villa d'Este. We were going to the Villa d'Este and did. They were doing a show right next door at a large, another place. My wife would remember the name of it, another very nice hotel set up on the water. And so, in any event, we had a wonderful time. And we fell in love with Italy, and so then we started going back and back and back and back. And we've been to Capri over 20 times by itself.
Oh wow, wonderful. And when was the last time you went to Italy? What was the last time?
Right before COVID.
Before COVID. Okay.
Yeah. That was COVID ended our sojourns to Italy. But we loved it there. We loved it at Rome. We used to stay at the Hassler Hotel in Rome a lot. And we went to in Capri that, God almighty, heaven help me, that the Monster Hotel there, the main one, stay there. But we just loved it. I'm getting off the subject. We got to get back to you. Look, this is not a challenge. This is not a challenge. It's an opportunity, for another opportunity for Nico to have fun with his speech and to be supremely successful. And you will say no words. You will only speak messages. There are no words. It's only message. It's all from the heart. And that's what you're going to do. And you're going to have a wonderful time doing it. Do you know what your vows are going to be yet?
Yes, I know. I know them already. My vows.
Say them to me.
And also, I have the option during the dinner to make like a toast or like small.
It's obligatory. You have to.
I have to.
Oh, and it's wonderful. You're going to love that.
Yeah.
This is a great opportunity. Oh, yes. And you can think of some funny things to say, and some people to quote. I always use a lot of quotes, but humorous things about your relationship, anecdotes. People love personal stories. For example, when I was about 10 years old, I told my father I was having a birthday party or something, and I said, I don't want any girls there. So he said, why not? He said, I don't have that much fun with it. I really, we play guns and this and that, and I'm really not interested in having any girls there. And he said, "Oh, you're going to really like girls." And I said, "No, I don't think so." And he said, "No," he said, "I guarantee you will." And he said, "No." I said, "No, I never will." And he said, "Can I have that in writing?" And I said, "Yes." And so we wrote it out. I said, "How much do you want to bet?" And I said, $5 or whatever. And of course, by the time I was 14 or something, I never looked back. I've never talked to a man since except under duress. I always talk to women. But anything personal that you can think of about yourself and your relationship, and since you guys have been together so long, you should probably have a lot of
Stories. Yeah.
some pick 2 or 3. Begin and end with humor. And let's see here. I want to see if. Hold on. Let me see. I had some great quotes about marriage. And wait a minute. I want to, if I can pull this up. Let's see here. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm under pressure now and I'm having trouble thinking of where I file things. I was going to give you some great quotes on marriage, but in any event, would you like to? Do you think it's appropriate? We are recording. We don't have to record that. If you want, we can take it off. But I don't know if you want to say that your vows now or not. Would you like to, or do you think that's?
Now not, because I know I don't have that in my hands because I still haven't memorized them. So maybe if you do another time, but I would like to do like with you next time if it's possible before the wedding. If
I thought that's what you were doing, you schnook. You know what a schnook is? I don't know what a schnook is. It's something bad. Let me see here. I want to read you a few quotes about marriage. Okay, this is for the humorous side of marriage. Hold on. I have to get to the right place. I read a book a week for a long time, and as a result, I picked up a lot of quotes. And so, okay, on marriage, here are a few of my favorites. Until a man is married, he's incomplete. After he's married, he's finished. That was Zsa Zsa Gabor. Did you ever hear of her, the great actress?
No, I don't know about that, but
a very famous and very beautiful actress. Okay. Let's see. If you want to sacrifice the admiration of many men for the criticism of one, get married. And that's said by Kate Hepburn, who's also a very, very famous
actress. I know her.
Of the 20th century. Here's another one. I gave her a ring and she gave me the finger. And that's a singing group. That's a line from a song. How about this? She got the gold mine and I got the shaft. And then marriage is the only war where one sleeps with the enemy. And marriage is not a word, it's a sentence. It's holy deadlock. And so Shakespeare said, many a good hanging prevents a bad marriage. Many a good hanging.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a bad marriage. And then marriage is the triumph of hope over experience. That's a poet. In marriage, 3 is company and 2 is none. The playwright Oscar Wilde. And then there's this one, take my wife, please. And that was Henny Youngman, the comic. He says, I take my wife everywhere, but she keeps finding her way home. And after I said a few of these, and then I said, okay, I said, that's the funny side of it. But we're here, we know why we're here, because we got a lot of wonderful things going on here. So, I mean, I used some of those quotes at one of our at different anniversary parties. I got more, but I mean, if you give them a few in your toast, you might want to say in jest. There's some funny things have been said about marriage, with which we do not agree, but they're nonetheless humorous. And lay a few on them, like that. I mean, you can think about it. Any event. So, what would you like to do then? So, tell me what you want to do.
So, okay, if it's possible, I would like to do another Skype with you before the wedding, which is on the end of August. So, I would like to rehearse with you my wedding vows.
And so, when do you want to do that?
Okay, the wedding is on the 30th of August, so we have one month, so we can have another Skype.
Well, you know when you want to do it. I don't, and you should practice your toast at the same time.
Okay, we can do that.
The toast will be even more important than the wedding vows because
I know.
You can have more fun with it.
I know. But the point is that I have to do this in Italian, so.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
understood.
Yeah.
But okay. So I can't be I can't critique the substance of it, only the.
Okay, great.
The sound.
And I want to ask you if I know it's like short notice because maybe it's everything booked. Would be nice if I could give like a speech at one SEM meeting just before I don't know if there is like a slot available because it's very short notice, I know, because you have all the slots already occupied from here to the end of August. Do you feel
when would you like to do it? Do you have a
like I can organize. If you tell me like if you have like some free slots, I can. Of course, I have to prepare it because I did only one speech at SAM. It was like maybe 1 year ago or like 2 years ago probably. But I can do like.
You want to do one on July 20th? That's 2 weeks away.
It works. It works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put down July 20th.
Okay. But during this the SEM speech, I will just give an update about my speech in general, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great.
No heat.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. Okay. All right, I put you down for July 20th. And what I'll do is I'll send an email now to Javier. I'm bouncing another guy, but he doesn't care. he'll be around
Thank you.
a long
So
time.
20th of July. Okay.
Yeah, 20th of July. So,
Thank you very much.
yeah, well, this is great. No, this is super. Uh, trying to make all my. I need to do it right on the spot,
Yeah, go ahead. No problem.
because otherwise it gets away from me. Um, uh, let's see. Um, your name is not classic Italian name, and it throws me off the spelling.
Yes, but my full name is like Nicola, but all my friends call me Nico, Nico.
I say Nico.
Nico is great. Yeah.
This is just us chickens here.
Yep.
Oh. My cursor's it's not working.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I just wrote him and I copied you, so
Right.
so you know what is going on. All right. Well, look. Is there anything else you want to do today?
It's great. So I will prepare like my speech for the SAM meeting about an update. I will give an update for my speech, and I will be very grateful to you if just maybe 1 week or 2 weeks before the wedding we can meet again, and I will rehearse with you the vows and my my toast, my small speech for the wedding.
The general speech. May I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
You, like so many people, insert to hold the speech floor. When you pause, before you say your next thing, you put in Stops give you a break, the listener a break, and they make people remember what you say better. Try not to use unless it's crutch 4 and you're avoiding a stutter. That's different. Otherwise, you want to use it. So you need to hear silences when you stop talking. So you need, this is a way of life. And I know you will lose the speech floor to some of your friends, but you don't care, you'll get it back. And when you do, you'll make better use of it than they do. So silence needs to be part of your speech. Stops, silence.
Yeah.
Same thing. And you've got, as I say, you've got a great voice. You sound like a radio announcer or something. You know, so that's a big advantage.
I know. And also something we didn't mention tonight, it's crutch number 12, which is one of my favorite.
Okay, smiling. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important for me.
And when you're at the wedding, you know, it's Smile City, you know.
Yeah.
But, and then just generally speaking, if you can think, when you speak, how can I say it better? How can I put something into it that others don't? You're not a mannequin. You're not a statue. You're alive. You've got feelings, positive ones, and you want to share them. And that's what you do when you think, how can I say it like I mean it? Do that. Practice that. Think that. As I told you, it's my only crutch. It's all I need. And then I have to think about stops, increments, etc. Or I talk too fast and blah, blah, blah. It's a struggle, you know, but we get better. And you're going to be great at the weddings. You're going to soar way up here. They're going to say, God, that was a great wedding. I loved what he said in his toast, and the ceremony was wonderful. It's fun. It's a big day. You're going to have a wonderful time. You're going to be so fluent by thinking about the meaning of what you say. So on that happy note, I'll see you at Sam, and then you'll let me know when you want to talk.
Yes. Okay. I will send you a few dates, and you will tell me when it's easier for you. Sure. So I would like to tell you a big thank you, grazie, you know, my friend. And I just was thinking that I met you in 2019, and I'm so very grateful to life for having let me met you on my way.
Thank you so much for saying that. I much appreciate the kind words, and they're mutual. I rarely meet Italians I don't like to start with. I don't know why. My wife and I we are, you know, I'm Scottish and Irish and British and she's English and British, but our hearts were Italian. So we love you guys. So it's been fun knowing you, and I'm really grateful you stick around. Anything that you can ever do or say online that would be helpful to a WSSA, because I'm not going to be here forever. There's 80 million people out there suffering, and they need help. And anything to help them, you know. And if you do charity someday, make WSSA, put WSSA up front on your charity list, because it'll need it. I probably won't be here by then, but, you know, do what you can.
Of course. Grazie mille, Coach Lee. Big thank you, grazie, and buonanotte. For me, it's like night here, so I go to sleep soon. And you have a good afternoon.
The pleasure
ciao. Ciao, my friend.
Ciao, mate.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. Good night. Ciao.